Welcome back to Phyllis Schlafly Collegians, our Collegians Summit. Great to be together. We've had these video tape messages that were sent in to us by members of Congress and others. We'll play some of them during the program. We'll play some towards the end of the program, and we'll put this all up online. So you'll see we have some alumni, and alumnus from Collegians in the past that had some reflections. So lots of people that care what you're doing. We're glad you're here virtually. Our next guest is a friend of ours, someone I've worked with in the past, Cathering Engelbrecht. She's the founder of True the Vote. If you go to truethevote.org, you can see all the different things that they've done and the work they've done. You know, if you do some research, that Cathering, after founding her organization, she was one of the ones that's been identified as being targeted by the IRS back during the Obama administration because she was more conservative and concerned about elections being run right and fighting fraud. But she won that finally and got through that, and now in 2020 especially has been raising a clarion call about what's happening in the election, which is just less than 3 weeks away. So first of all, Cathering, welcome to Phyllis Schlafly Collegians Summit. Great to see you.
Hey, Ed, thanks so much for having me.
So how do you feel now? I know you and I talked about 10 days ago. How do you feel about the election? What are you worried about? Tell our collegians what you see going on now. You're pretty, I hate to say it, but you're an old hand in elections now. You've done, 5 or 6 of these if you count all the the midterm elections. What are you feeling?
I think we are in the middle of history being made, and I think this is one of these times that we will look back and say, where were you for the 2020 election? This is historic, and the energy is high. The voters are. As soon as early elections open, voters are out. They're lined up. They're ready to go. So these are exciting times, but we can't. We can't lessen our energy. This is going to go for a while, and we have to stay resolved. We have to get out and vote. We have to make sure our friends and family are voting, and we need to serve.
Well, and we're talking with Cathering Engelbrecht again. It's truethevote.org and on Twitter @TrueTheVote. So you should follow her and go on. And look, 60 days ago, she said to me, we got to get more poll workers. And then soon after, the president tweeted that. And I signed up. I usually work outside the polls. And I said, no, what Cathering has told me, you got to be inside and get eyes inside, be a part of it. So I know it's only 3 weeks from the election. Most places, it's probably late to be a poll worker. But it may be that there's opportunities if there's recounts or if there's delayed things. One of the things you've said, Cathering, is we just have to keep talking about the issues and the problems. But what do you tell college students to do? How can they play a role besides voting?
Well, the great thing is, as a poll, so you're exactly right, Ed, that poll workers working on behalf of the county or a county equivalent, right, those positions are sort of coming to a close. But to be a poll watcher, in most states, you can be placed as a poll watcher up until Election Day. The way you do that is you reach out to your party or to a candidate, and you tell them you want to be part of their ballot security effort. You want to work as a poll watcher. If you're wanting to work for President Trump, he's got a whole effort going on right now to recruit people to work on his behalf as poll watchers. So you can, we have supplemental training. We've got all kind of stuff on our website too. But the point is, it's not too late to serve. So I would say first and foremost, vote, and then still plan on being, plugged in. Don't watch this from your couch on November 3rd.
One of the people later on we're going to talk to, Cathering, is Jack Posobiec, who's a correspondent at One America News, but also a strong Twitter activist. He's going to talk about Antifa, and we'll talk to him about that. But, where you sit, Cathering, you watch what's massing among, for lack of a better term, the enemy. You see hundreds of lawyers hired by the Democrats and Biden to get ready to file lawsuits to try to drag out the election. You see, the ballot harvesting in states where it's legal and illegal, and you're saying to yourself, okay, these forces are massing and they're organized, and I think I know the answer because you and I talk about it a bit, but what's happening in opposition? Is it we the people are saying, oh, we'll all be honest, or are you seeing now the organization to fight back and to balance that onslaught?
Look, I think that, the good news is, I think that the heart of America, be you Republican or Democrat, you really do want a free and fair process. You want everybody's vote to count. That's the good news. But there is a very small yet very determined, very well funded, very well organized contingent that is pushing for chaos. And they've pushed for it on many levels. We've seen over 350 lawsuits or fiats related to election law passed in just this pandemic cycle, if you will. That's one arm of this, is the legal piece. Then you see the social justice battalions that are taking to the streets with Antifa, with Black Lives Matter, and so forth. And that's all playing out as well. So there is a lot of chaos. It's intentional, I believe. I think it's engineered to feel very chaotic. We need to separate the signal from the noise. Let the noise go. Focus on the signal. Get out, vote, make sure your family and friends vote, take nothing for granted, serve, stay resolved. If it's not over on November 3rd, you stay engaged. We're in this together. Just stay focused. Don't be distracted. Stay focused.
On truethevote.org, is there a sign up for people to get an update on what's happening? I know you said there's some resources there, but is there a way for them to become sort of part of your team to hear what you're saying?
Absolutely, yes. If you plug into truethevote.org, we are doing all kinds of stuff. In fact, we're starting a live show, daily show next week to keep up with the updates as they are breaking. And there's every day we're setting new records with numbers of votes cast. I could go on and on. This is a historic time. So yes, plug into True the Vote, stay close. We'll keep you updated. But just whatever you do, don't sit this one out. Be engaged, be a part of this.
We're getting questions online for the folks, our collegians that are watching on all the different platforms. And one of them said here, I love it, the open-ended, how can mail-in balloting work? And I guess, how is this going to, there were 5 states, I think, correct me now, I'm going to say things I think I know. 5 states that did this in the past for a long time. Oregon maybe is one of them. They've done mail-in ballots for a long time. They kind of worked out the kinks. You may still not like it, but at least they knew what they're doing relatively. But about 20 more states have implemented some form of mail-in balloting, and they don't know what they're doing. And I mean, how can mail-in balloting work, as this collegian said?
We're no fan. I think that I respect the need for an absentee ballot, a solicited ballot, where you reach out and say, I would like to vote by mail, and that's your choice. And they know, they can send a person, a voter, a ballot. But in many states, as you point out, Ed, that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing unsolicited, just mass flooding of mail ballots. And when you have errant voter rolls, as we now clearly know are a problem, you get lots of ballots that are live and not getting to their intended person and so forth. So how can it work? It's not good. What we are suggesting is, if you do get a mail ballot and you are in a position in your state to take that ballot and still go vote in person, bring the ballot with you. You'll surrender it in person and then still vote eyeball to eyeball with a fellow American. That is the most secure way to vote, and vote early, by the way. Don't wait. Do not wait until Election Day. We're hearing many reports of people that have gone to vote and are being told, well, you can't vote in person because you've already gotten an absentee ballot. In those instances, you may need extra time to clear up situations. So make sure you're voting early. And even if you do have to mail your ballot, mail it early. Leave nothing to chance. Make sure your vote gets cast.
We're getting more questions here. One of our collegians asked how can Election Day go smoother as a participant? So I'm rephrasing it a little bit, but someone said chaos on Election Day, and they say, is that meant to scare us off? And then how can it go smoother for people to have a good Election Day?
Yes, chaos is intentional. You are meant, at this point, the focus of the opposition is to confuse you, to cause chaos, to cause anxiety. And that's why I say separate the signal and the noise. Stay focused. Go volunteer. Be the honest eyes and ears and hearts and hands to help out, that can make everything go much more smoothly, whether you're working inside the polls or at Central Count or helping to compare signatures on mailed-in ballots. Just get involved. There are not enough people serving. We need more volunteers broadly across the country. This is true.
TrueTheVote.org is the website, and I want to say this again because I sort of misstated it earlier when I said that the deadline passed. The deadline passed, to be very clear, to be one of the sort of inside sanctioned work for the county or the state. But every campaign, everyone who's run for office knows your own campaign can place watchers. You can put them as you said, ballot security. So there is room. If you're a college student and you're doing virtual school, that means, I don't know, is it easy to skip virtual class? I don't know. But if you can, I tell people, and Catherine, you taught me this, plan ahead. On election day, you need the day off from work. You need the day off from school. And you need to be able to come and bodies, eyes, as you said, eyes inside. Here's another question, Catherine. This is a little bit more broadly political. One of our collegians wrote, how, if I listen to the TV and read the newspaper, I'm told that the Democrats are going to win everything. How is that really true? Can you tell from what you're seeing? And let me broaden that, Catherine, that you've now seen a number of elections back to back to back. Are you seeing in 2018, when you were done, you probably could have said, yep, the turnout's going to be stronger amongst one side. Can you see that right now? Are the polls off? What do you feel about that?
If memory serves, the polls are almost exactly what they were in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was so favored to win.
Right.
But yet there was a disconnect in the energy, and the Trump camp just seemed to have the energy. They seemed to have the hearts and minds. And even back then, 2016, we were thinking, well, the numbers just don't. It doesn't seem like what it all is being told to us by the media. So I would say, just again, don't let it get in your head. Don't let anything deter you from you casting your vote and having your voice heard. Don't believe the hype. Don't buy into all the chaos. Just stay focused.
Very good. All right, Catherine Engelbrecht, one last question for our college students. What do you tell young people in general, the world they're coming out into? Some of them are seniors, some of them are juniors. They're watching the world go around them. Maybe we've been asking each of our guests about what they recommend for college students. What's your thoughts?
Oh man, I have 2 college students of my own, and these are amazing times. These are times of history. These are times of amazing innovation. And you are coming of age at a time where you're going to have the opportunity to see things that our generation is only dreaming of. It's now coming to you and to your generation. Don't waste the opportunity, and never underestimate the power of what you can do. Anything is possible in this country. Believe in yourself, believe in this country, have faith. We're all in this together, and I believe we're going to get a very happy ending in the months ahead.
Okay, TrueTheVote.org. One more thing, Catherine. Tell us about the daily program you're going to start. Give our collegians a preview and where to go to watch it.
Yeah, you can check us out YouTube. We're going to be streaming all across every kind of platform, but it's we stream weekly now, called Red, White, and True News. You can check us out at True the Vote on YouTube. And we are going to be talking about all things elections.
Good. Well, that's important. I'm glad you'll be there. I'll tell you this while all the collegians are listening too, but I was reading recently a history of Nightline. I know Ryan behind the thing is going to smile. Nightline started in 1979 when the American people didn't get news on the Iranian hostage crisis, and they started watching Nightline opposite Johnny Carson. It was very popular. I have to tell you, Catherine, I've told you before, we're not hearing enough about the election problems. We hear little snippets. President Trump tweets it. I think you're going to find a ready audience of people that want to hear what's going on. As you mentioned, every state, and our collegians should know this, whatever state you're in, there are Obama judges and there are left-leaning lawyers that are suing to work together to hold the polls open, places where they say no signatures required for you to sign your ballot. I mean, this is one of the basic things. So TrueTheVote.org and True the Vote on their YouTube channel. Check it out. I think that'll be valuable, Catherine. So thank you again for your time. Catherine Engelbrecht, TrueTheVote.org. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys, all you do.
Okay, we're going to go next.